Oh, howdy all, grab yourselves a beer. It is time to talk about how you can use Elva's missions in order to turbocharge your map sustain. Now, you'll have a look here and you'll see that I'm in a Lair of the Hydra map and I'm looking at my last incursion remaining. What I've done at the moment is I've taken all of my white tier and yellow tier Elva maps and I've run 3 of them back to back. So I had 7 white tier Elva missions from the start of the league, from when I was clearing out the Atlas. And what I went and did was did 3 maps using Elva's dailies in order to just run a whole bunch of temple content and then set up this temple that you see here. Then I've come into a single tier 16. The reason I've done that is because Elva has an interesting formula that determines how powerful the monsters are within her temple. And that formula is really exploitable. It is the average of all of the zone levels that you entered an incursion in, plus 10, hard capped at the highest tier that you did an incursion for her in. Now the highest tier that I've done an incursion for her in is the 3 in this map. This is a tier 16 map that I'm in at the moment. As you can see, I'm in a Lair of the Hydra. And so this is hard capped at tier 16. And because all of the I did 9 incursions at tier 4 maps, and now I've done 3 of them at tier 16. If you check out that formula, you'll notice that the average of 9 lots of 4 and 1 lots of 16 is 7. Sorry, and 3 lots of 16 is 7. 7 plus 10 is 17. And so the cap is going to come into effect, and I'm going to get a tier 16 incursion temple. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this incursion. I don't really care about the results. I wouldn't mind upgrading Tasti because I believe he then causes the zone to have a timeless monolith, whereas at the moment it still has a timeless monolith. They've changed this Hall of Champions, so I want to go and experience it. So let's just go and do that, but I don't really care if I'm successful or not. If I am, then bonus. There's a guy that I wouldn't mind killing. I'm very squishy for being in tier 16 content, so I've got to be quite cautious not to get ganked. Especially, I certainly can't tank his big slam attack like that. Anyways, he's down, I believe. No, he's not. No, he is not. I thought he was burning out, but he wasn't. So go back and we'll finish that off. These are just more tier 16 monsters to kill, so I've killed them all. But I didn't really care about the results there. They were a bonus. Nothing of value dropped, so I'll leave here. And at this point, I've now got Elva ready. And all I need to do is go and talk to her. And what she'll do is she'll provide me a temple. This temple will be monster level 83, so tier 16. I'm just going in here, and I am looting maps. So going in, and we'll verify that it is a monster level 83. That's the end of the tricks. Now it's just a case of watching the results. This is a very easy tier 16 map, with the exception of the boss. The boss can be nasty, but there's no guarantee that you get a lot of maps in here that are relevant, but there's a good chance, and especially because I got lucky and I was able to repair the Atlas of Worlds room, the tier 3 version, which is the top tier. There's an element of luck in that. You normally won't be able to get that room, but even if you just get the tier 1 or tier 2 version, that's all good. So lots and lots of tier 16 monsters to kill. XP should fly up because I'm only level 85. Kind of curious as to how much I get out of a full temple run. Now I'm going to do something that is almost sacrilege for people that played during the Incursion League, and I'm going to largely clear the temple. I know people are thinking, oh, I'm just going to send that guy a message in a sec. And actually, no, let's just do that now. This is a little side note. Make sure that you always list your veiled weapons, and veiled everything actually, as you will get a whole bunch of people who want everything you've got. So what do I have? I have, I've only got... Okay, so that's that little sidetrack over. Let's jump back into the temple for what we actually came here for. But, side note, if you've got veiled items hidden on your filter, fix that now. That should be some evidence as to why you should never hide them. And NeverSync is hiding them by default, so make sure that you fix that. You want to be looting those, and you want to be selling them to people. Now you'll notice I haven't had any map drops yet. That does happen. Normally you get about 7 in a full temple, 10 or so if you've got the if you've gotten lucky and got the Atlas of Worlds room, but there's no guarantees. And of course I am very squishy, so I have to be quite cautious of... However, I am well set up for these silly legions. Oh, could you not? Thank you. I haven't seen a legion encounter in the temple yet, so I want to actually run this. A super tanky rare monster here. I actually had one in that tier 16 that I did before as well. It didn't drop anything of value. Oh, oops. Oh well, that's being squishy. That wasn't even on the real encounter. Do this when you get your high item level items that have some potential to be excellent. Just throw a single orb of binding on them if you have one. On these Atlas bases, they have some potential to be really good. And that's what orbs of binding are for. They probably aren't any good, but I'm still going to just stick them in a multi-chaos tab because stuff surprisingly sells early in a league. Stuff that you think has no justification for selling. Now, let's get back to where we actually were meant to be, which is we're inside the temple and we're going to go and find the Hall of Heroes first, then the Atlas of Worlds are the valuable rooms, but it's actually worth doing a full clear. And that is why I got ganked. I didn't realise that the Architect was present there. These Architects are very easy when you're when you outgear and outlevel the content, but I don't really outgear and outlevel tier 16 content at the moment, so there's a Warhorde open. Just keep moving. Don't stop moving. Otherwise you're going to die horribly here. In fact, that even goes if you're fairly geared. These rooms are... So these Legion encounters are no laughing matter. As sure many a hardcore player found out to their cost last league. Oh, and this one's got Soul Eater. Soul Eater is horrifying on those. Okay, so that's complete a Legion encounter in the Temple of Atzoatl. That advises me that I have actually completed everything in here. That's one of the challenge encounters. Fossilized incubators are kind of nice. They have a very slim chance of dropping the premium ones, but it is there. It's not zero. Shit, that hit hard. Everything that I hit does take a little while to kill. If it's a tanky Incursion Temple rare monster. Rare monsters in the Incursion Temple have a lot more hit points than they do in a lot of other places in the game. It's refreshing. It means that you can't just, do the whole super careless, just throw a fireball, run away approach. You do need to respect the monster's abilities. So that's where the boss went. I do have positive chaos resistance at the moment. It's the one defensive stat that probably is usually not critical, but that I do have a fair bit of just because it was available on other gear that I had. Anyways, Jeweler's Workshop is a garbage room. I should only just be here for the potential of getting a Light Riches divination card box, and for the monsters that you can kill for maps. You'll notice that even despite the fact that I had that death earlier, XP is just exploding upwards. I actually probably shouldn't be bothering with these architects. It's a bad habit. I see a boss, I feel obliged to kill it even when it's not needed. And in this case, it's probably not close to efficient to do so, but hey, sometimes you just want to have a bit of fun by having an engaging fight as well. Okay, what are you doing there? Yes. That thing is... Oh, that's Malachi. That's the Blood Magic unique, isn't it? Flamethrower Trap, in case you're wondering, is just for some single target damage support. It does help. It's not great. I'm thinking around for other ideas, but it, you know, sometimes you just want to watch an enemy burn, and it helps you do that. And here we are in the room that is the most likely to have a decent payoff of them all. Certainly not guaranteed. The Incursion Temple was added at a time in the game where map scarcity was still a thing before map scarcity was nerfed into oblivion. But you'll find that there's still stuff here. Just got to get rid of Uromoji first, because